Yeah, Republican. Yeah.
I have a ton of questions that were sent directly from the fans. And since this is for the fans, I'm just going to ask their questions.
Great.
Yeah. So, if they're bad, it's not my fault. And then we're going to open it up for all of you to ask questions. So, if epic music is going, I feel a lot of pressure. Have you all read some of the fan fiction that's out there?
What fan fiction? Some.
Any critiques? How's the writing?
What fan fiction?
The artwork is particularly interesting.
How exciting! I like the idea that you've seen it. This question comes from Sarah on Twitter, and she wants to know if you could appear in a play together, what play would you want to do?
Oh, that's tough. You could appear in what?
A play together.
Oh, much ado about nothing. Beatrice Benedict. Beatrice.
Oh, it would be restoration. Any kind of restoration with fans and gossiping behind it.
That would be very good. Lady Snail.
I love that. Do you have a preference for TV versus theater?
I'm such a contrary person. When I'm doing TV, I rather want to do theatre. When I'm doing theatre, I absolutely love to do TV. But I love them both, and they're different, completely different. It is terrifying.
Yeah, that's the main difference. Is the television isn't frightening because if you fuck it up, you do it again. On the stage, obviously, if you fuck it up, then you feel terrible. And you are reliant on your fellow actors to help you and make sure that the audience are aware, which 9 times out of 10 they do. But it's the fear factor that's the main difference.
Yes, but the difference for an actor, I think, is that once you're, first of all, you have a rehearsal period, which it's so fast what you do. It's luckily the group of actors on the set that we work on, which is known as AAU, is absolutely, we have the most wonderful company of actors. And it's like an old-fashioned rep system. You get to work with each other, you get to know each other, you get to work with each other. You get to understand and you know how to play very, very quickly. And it's been the most fabulous experience. In the theatre, you get a rehearsal period to really investigate, and that's what you miss, I think.
You miss the rehearsal, and then when you're doing it, you miss the money.
When you have some Berena scenes, how much rehearsal is there? Speaking of rehearsal.
Not happening.
None. Very occasionally there is. But that scene that we played on the roof, the very last one, there was no rehearsal time at all. It was the end of the day, we had 5 minutes to film that scene, and we just had to do it. But it's that lovely thing of when you get to know someone, the person that you're playing with, and trust them, and they trust you, you can just go for it, and you will follow each other.
Yes, and play and be on the spur of the moment. But that's the way most television works. There is very little rehearsal time. You come on set, you read through the scene once, you then rehearse it, maybe once, you then do it in front of the camera team, and then you film it.
It's very, very lucky that I feel enormously grateful for this part, and I feel particularly grateful to have played with Catherine, because Catherine is a really very, very fine actress, and we're different, we work differently, and I think it's worked for us, and I feel really privileged to have played this part with this person sitting on my right.
knew of each other, obviously, we never met.
Do you have a favorite musical artist or band? This comes from Tales on Twitter.
Mine are really obvious of where I am, Judy Garland and things like that.
Yes, we sing a lot of musical numbers at work.
Much to the irritation of Alex Morganshaw. Musical theatre is strong on the set of composition.
I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers in concert recently, so I'll just say the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I had the best night in the mosh pit.
Deborah wants to know if you could play another character on the show. Would you want to play?
Another character on Home.
Yeah.
Any character on Holby?
Each other, maybe?
Oh, I'd be Guy's character.
Henry Hansen.
Yes.
I think Henry Hansen, that's probably because I want to be as good as the guy.
Also, he gets to play with everybody.
That's true, he does get to play with everybody.
The show covers a lot of serious topics. Do you ever feel pressure to make sure that you're dealing with the issues in a powerful and meaningful way?
Well, we both did this storyline. Very responsible for getting Berena right. Because the lesbian representation on mainstream television, particularly, there isn't a shed, particularly with our non-existent. So we're very keen to make sure that we got that right for you.
I think it's your responsibility as an actor to do is to play whatever scene you play with conviction and as much truth as you can bring to it. That's it. The rest belongs to the creative team and the writers. When I say creative team, obviously we are creative, but I mean, yeah, the writers.
The most difficult one I had was the storyline that I can remember where my mother had got dementia and subsequently died. And my own mother didn't have dementia, but had died not that long ago before, and that threw up a whole load of stuff that was exhausting.
Are there any storylines that you hoped to see but did not come to fruition?
My imagination isn't that good. I think, if somebody says they want to say these lines, I will generally go, yes, thank you very much for the lines and send them. I'm not very good at some actors are very good at going up to producers and saying, I think my character should do this or should do that. And then either of us, I've never done that. I'm not very good at that.
Is there a storyline that you particularly like, the mother storyline that was particularly meaningful to you?
Yes, there was a storyline about breast cancer. It was particularly important to me because my mother had breast cancer and I went through breast cancer. I'm actually quite different.
Is it hard when you're watching a show? You're doing scenes and you're watching a show and it does affect you, it does remind you of things. Is that hard as an actor? To be there and have to be in the scene and also deal with what's going on inside you?
Sometimes, yes, sometimes it is quite hard. And to try and separate the two, sometimes, you find, for whatever reason, everything sometimes inside you is slightly at odds with what you have to play because of your own experience. But they're not writing your own experience, they're writing somebody else's experience. And you have to separate the two. But it's quite hard sometimes, yeah.
I think one of the hardest things on the job that we do is there's a lot of time off, don't get us wrong, we're not down the line and we're being very well paid. But when it's a storyline, it's a long storyline, it's a heavy storyline, not only is it difficult to do with the version of perhaps the storyline, but you're also shattered. Because you are up on Friday morning and you get home about, I get home about 20 past 8, and also tempting.
about you?
Certainly not.
Sorry,
How do you deal with all of that?
difficult stuff. You have, I have friends on the set, and we get each other through some of the difficult stuff. I think, and
We have a support team.
yeah, I think we're very supportive of each other.
So nice.
Honestly, I know everyone else says on their interview that hobby is a lovely place to work, and everyone has friends who get on with each other. And we do. I think the practice is like that. It's also, if you sign a contract for a year, you know you're going to be staying with people for a year. Whereas if you're doing a short job, you might find people irritating or they're thinking about you. You know you just get on with it. It's a year. You just sort it out and make sure that you're all on the same page, which 90% of the time you are.
You both grew up with actors as a family. How much did that affect you and influence your choices?
I don't know that I made a choice. I think it just sort of, I naturally went into a familiar place. I grew up with theatre. It's very, very privileged childhood if you're around theatre, because it's an imaginative world that takes you in at any age. And I started going to see, my family plays from the age of 5. And so that was what I knew, and I loved it, and I still love it, and I feel tremendously privileged to do a job that supports me.
It was on hold. Say there's any profession gets into a family, it's very easy to follow that. Interestingly, the thing I learned most about watching my father was how not to be unemployed, as much as unemployed. Because when he was not working, he just became depressed and miserable and just sat on his arse and didn't do anything. And I remember quite young age thinking, I'm not going to do that. And it's comfortably. You've got to embrace the moments when you're not working as much as the moments when you are. Otherwise, that way man is life. Because as an actor, you are always going to have periods of unemployment. That's
Long
territory.
long.
Sometimes
Really
it's
lots of
yes. So you have to learn to cut your cloth. You have to learn to, sometimes you have a champagne week, sometimes you have a lemonade week, sometimes it's water from a tap, and you have to learn how to deal with that and embrace that.
Well, before I open it up to audience questions, I have to ask Jemma Dr. a question.
Yes.
I have. Is there a chance of you seeing it again soon?
I don't know. It's out of my hands, but I hope very much that it will happen. Yes.
Okay, I'll have to accept that. If you have questions, start raising your hands and I'm going to run around. Yes, good question.
You guys had to arm wrestle.
Let's find out.
I do not condone violence on stage.
No, I think we are. I think I'm the most competitive person I know.
I'm the most competitive person I know.
It's extraordinary we've survived this long as friends.
We have another question over here. Yes? No? Okay. Where did the questions go? Raise your hands. Oh, okay. Okay. Not really what it's
Hello.
So my question is both of you, but more specifically the Jemma.
Yeah. Yes.
This is my favourite show. I am living at the starting of future working in television film, and I was wondering specifically on period dramas, what is the set atmosphere like, and what is it like to work on a period drama?
Pretty much lunchtime because the course is so bloody tight. I'm terribly vain as well as very competitive, and so my courses was very tight indeed. And I recently had a baby. It's quite helpful actually. But it's I don't really think there's a huge amount of difference, except that things do take a bit longer, and you need a few horses every now and again. And if you're shooting outside, it's harder to create an environment. It's more expensive to create an environment that looks like the 1890s as opposed to 2017. But it's otherwise very similar. I do remember once, lighting TV or film, they often use pulleys, these white polystyrene boards to bounce the light off, so it's not quite so hard. And quite a few times when I just took my top skirt off and they used my petticoats instead of the pulley. So self-lighting is something that you can do, period.
Thank you. We have another question.
Jemma. The news has just come out this week that you're doing Planet Bergen, which is very exciting. Can you tell us a bit more about that and who you expect to hold?
The play is played by Tom Kempinski, photograph 1, and it's a two-hander, and it's set in a psychiatrist's consulting room. It's not a comedy. Yet. Oh, God. Yeah. Anyway, it's about a woman who's a solo violinist who's been struck down with multiple sclerosis. So there are echoes of cellist. You know the one. Dupre, yes, Jackie Dupre. But it's not about her. It's about somebody coming to terms with a huge loss and struggling to deal with it in her life. And it's a terrific day. And yeah, it's scary, but it's a big challenge, and it's going to be, it's going to happen, as I said yes, so there we are. Anyway, Holly, I don't know if they ask me to come back.
We have another question. Any character from past or present TV, who would you want to play?
Well, I said Sally Bowles earlier on today. You said Eddie Baddie.
I quite fancy Ellen Peel from the Avengers.
I'll go for Doctor Who.
They are looking for a new doctor.
Absolutely, I'm through.
Right here in a second.
You were talking about lesbian representation earlier, and there's a lack of it. When you took on the storyline, you knew it was going to be heading that way. Did you know it was going to head into this? Absolutely, a character out. And you mentioned
Hello.
Hi. I just want to know what's the one thing you enjoy most about working with each other? Like, what's the one thing since you've been on hobby that you like working most about with each other? So I know like we all love your laugh, like your laugh is...
That's so sweet of you to say so. There are so many people in my family who don't agree with that sentiment.
I think the thing that's been the greatest benefit for me is Jemma touched on it earlier on that we do work in different ways, and that has been a strength rather than a weakness. Sometimes when you work with another actor who works in a very different way, it can be difficult to match your style and their style and to work out how someone. And actually, we didn't really notice so much ourselves. Rosie Marcel, who plays Jack Naylor, we don't work very much at all, really, do we? But we do begin with it, but I looked at her. And she came down and did one scene with us and said, oh my God, I get it. I get what the fuss is about. And I said, oh, what do you mean? She said, we both work so differently. And yet the sort of ball of energy between you here works, and your energy sort of meet here. It's something that we have no control over, and that I think has been the thing that is the most exciting about it.
Yes, I think that's spot on. I think that it helps that we both have a sense of humour, because I think that if you can laugh, like any relationship in life, if you can laugh with somebody, you're most of the way there. But I think we are. I think what I really enjoy about it is I think you're very meticulously prepared, and I'm a little bit more sort of fluid. I think that's fair to say. And you have notes